Look at the left side of this split screen. It represents a trajectory most of us follow, a lifetime spent accumulating wealth, status, and external validation. We measure success by these markers, yet eventually, every high achiever and every ordinary citizen reaches the same biological conclusion, becoming white dust. When the finish line is identical, the outward chase reveals itself as a zero-sum game. Many of us spend decades trying to solve internal dissatisfaction by endlessly rearranging our external hardware. We change jobs, buy new houses, or seek different partners, expecting an external shift to fix a software error that exists entirely within the self. This notebook maps out the core equation for how that internal software operates. It shows that suffering is computed when our acquired ego interacts with rigid thoughts and concepts. This acquired ego is a fragile, constructed sense of I and my feelings. It acts as a defensive filter. When it applies our unyielding internal rules to the world, it manufactures the emotional pain we experience daily. Consider the dung beetle inside this glass jar. In the parable, the beetle is offered the chance to become human, but it refuses because it is terrified someone will steal its dung. To the beetle, that small sphere of waste is its entire reality. Clinging to outdated internal concepts locks us in the same kind of cognitive prison. We live out our lives mistaking our own limited perspective for the entire universe. This diagram shows the internal processing of reality. It begins on the far right, where a neutral event enters through the five senses. From there, that data passes through a series of mental filters that determine our reaction. The foundation is the eighth consciousness, the seed storehouse, represented here by a seedling. This neutral hard drive files every past reaction as a seed, waiting to sprout into a default behavior. The seventh consciousness, or ego, is a cracked mirror. It blindly pulls seeds from the storehouse, weaving them into a fragile self. When triggered by insecurity, the ego hijacks neutral events, interpreting them through my pride to conclude, I am being targeted. The daily exhaustion we feel stems from the seventh consciousness constantly performing this labor, weaving old, toxic seeds into new stories of personal victimhood. On this flowchart, a car cuts you off, a neutral physical event, but the eighth storehouse provides seeds of impatience. The seventh consciousness translates this into a personal attack. You explode in anger, honk, and plant a fresh seed of rage for tomorrow. To interrupt this, we use the empty boat theory. A manned boat hits yours, and you erupt at the pilot. An empty boat drifts in, and you calmly push it away. Viewing difficult people as empty boats gives the ego no target. Look at your most recent conflict. Try to pinpoint the exact moment your ego rewrote the data from a simple disagreement into a story about your personal disrespect. Recognizing the other person as an empty boat dissolves anger. Without a pilot to blame, the ego's narrative of personal attack has nowhere to land. Mastery begins with dual observation. You watch external events without judgment, like the rainy street on the left, while simultaneously monitoring your internal response to see if your heart is being pulled into an attachment. This feeds into the purification system. As seen in this illustration, you observe an emotion rising, reflect on its illusory nature, and adjust your behavior to prevent the polluted seeds from recycling into the next karmic loop. The practical application in conflict uses the three panels shown here: stop, turn, and flow. Stop pauses the impulsive, angry word. Turn transforms the instinct to strike back into calm expression. Flow releases the ego's rigidity to respond with grace. This table contrasts the two states of being. The ordinary mind remains fixated on the crashing waves of emotion, while the awakened mind sees the deep ocean, treating conflicts as empty boats and constantly updating its internal concepts. This reframes the world as a dojo, as shown on this desk. Every mundane interaction and conflict becomes a specific opportunity to observe your own attachments and refine your habits. Practice is the ongoing act of seeing these internal mechanics clearly and living out that clarity in every mundane interaction. It is the process of untangling the ego's narratives as they arise.